Louis, thanks for being here.
My apologies. I was with the editor of CDT and we got caught up in a conversation.
How'd you make out with him?
Very well, actually. You know, you realize that sometimes you have to give people an opportunity, and when you give them an opportunity, they turn out to be pretty decent people. So, you know, it's a lesson for all of us to learn. I will talk louder. So how are we all doing today? Ready for a football game?
Yeah! After the trustees retire, not you.
I saw somebody with a sign, actually wearing a shirt. This is the probation bowl.
Yeah.
Sad commentary, but it's going to be a good game tonight. They're a good
Great
football
game.
team, and hopefully we're ready to
Great
play
game.
them. A couple of things I wanted to address with you. First, I had a conversation with Kathleen Kane yesterday. I am a registered Republican. This is not a political statement per se, but I feel so strongly about this issue that I wanted to share my thoughts. I have no doubt that the investigation conducted by the Attorney General's office needs to be reviewed thoroughly and immediately.
Absolutely.
And,
Investigate now.
and in my view, Kathleen Kane will do it. She's promised me that. She sent me an email stating that immediately she will begin that investigation. Immediately. And I think for us to get to the truth, we're going to need that. This is not going to happen overnight. We've already been at this a year. It's going to be some time. And all I can ask from all of you is to be patient. I know that's hard. You're talking about the most impatient guy in the world. If I had patience, I'd be a doctor. But I'm not.
That's a joke.
So the reality of this is that, contrary to what Larry said earlier, actually you have all of the power. You just don't know it. So you have the power of scale. There are 600,000 of us. I said this before and I'll say it again. You have the power. You just have to figure out how to use that power. And it starts first with the upcoming elections. This is going to be a difficult election because although I don't think we'll have 86 candidates, we'll have a significant number of candidates. So you're going to have to cull through those candidates. I can tell you that I've had opportunity to speak with a great many of them. You know, the person who finished fourth, ironically, in that election, Barbara Duran, is here with us today, and I wanted to say hi to Barbara. For the record, I actually recommended to the board that she be the name to replace Steve Garbin when he resigned, but we know that story. So I think, though, when you look at who decides to run, one of the most important qualities they have to possess is the time to be engaged in the business of Penn State. No longer can you show up for 6 meetings a year and say that you've done your job. This is a $4.3 billion enterprise. It requires a great deal of time and effort, particularly now. So please, when you go through those biographies, think carefully, think long, and think hard, because those choices will have a significant impact on this university for the foreseeable future. That's the first thing. So you have a great deal of power there. We're working toward opening the process for the Business and Industry Trustee nomination and election. Believe it or not, if you do a little bit of research, you could nominate, or you yourself could apply for a Business and Industry Trustee position if you meet certain qualifications. That's available to you online now. You complete an application. The challenge, however, is that those applications that get reviewed by a subcommittee on the board of 5 people who are determined by the chair of the board. And then those 5 people recommend 2, and we vote on 2. And last election, the incumbents were reelected. But it starts with having an interest. And that requires effort, that requires time. So you'll have some input. In the last group, the agricultural trustees get elected too. We're still trying to understand more fully that process. There is a fair amount of influence yielded by a couple of groups there, but in due course, you'll have more information from us as to how you can play a role in influencing the outcome of that process. I can't help us yet with the with the governor's appointees or the ex officio members. But what I can say to you is the next step is the actual reform of the board. I can tell you that I've spent considerable amount of time with legislators in Harrisburg over the last few months, and the Auditor General, because he came out with a desire to reform the structure of the board. I think the next session we will see a reform effort. Legislation will be put forth. Whether or not it's enacted remains to be seen, but I hope to play a role in that. They have involved me every step of the way, and I have my thoughts as to how that might take shape. But just know that we're going to call on you to contact those legislators so they understand the importance of reform. And this is our opportunity. It may not happen again in our lifetime. It took us 100 and how many years to get to this point? 1855, 157 years. And we had very little change in the structure of our board. We're going to get that opportunity now. We need to seize that opportunity to shape this university the way we'd like to see it. Because as Joe told me, we want to leave this a better place than we found it, and that's our mission. What I want to do from here forward is to allow you to ask me some questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I am a member of the Outreach Committee. The comments that I make will be my representations. I've been admonished that I don't represent the board per se. I am a Board of Trustee member. I represent this institution and the alumni.